Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Thursday, April 26, 2012. Combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. We have great television archives. Top, punch around, you'll see some old TV commercials, some old pieces I did on Channel 4 and Channel 5 over the years, and some great, like I said, Slyman Brothers TV commercials and stuff. Just great stuff up there. Check it out. And then down below we have JC's Eye Candy and the results of yesterday's rock and roll poll. What's the greatest baseball movie of all time? And 35% of you say Field of Dreams. Good choice. That would be mine. Well, the ones that's on the list, like I said, there's a great movie from the 40s called It Happens Every Spring. WGN Television used to run it on the Sunday before the baseball season every year, and it's just a wonderful movie. It's just the greatest baseball movie ever. If you are able to track it down somewhere, it's called It Happens Every Spring, and it is wonderful. Anyhow, Field of Dreams, the natural, number 2 at 19%. Bull Durham got 8%. Major League, Bad News Bears, and The Sandlot all tied at 7%. A League of Their Own, 6%. 61 said 5%. Boy, that's a lot better movie than 7th or 8th place is where ended up there. 8 Men Out at 3%. The Rookie at 3%. And that's a better movie too than that. And Moneyball only 0.7%. I'm guessing a lot of you didn't see Moneyball because I think it belongs a lot higher on the list. All right, let's move on. Which is worse? This is an offshoot of yesterday's conversation. Me and Trish on the Big 550 KTRS were there every day from noon until 3, and we got into this discussion as to what's worse, running up $20,000 in debt as a spouse and coming to your husband or wife and saying, honey, I got something to tell you about. I ran up 20 grand. Whether that's bad, or what's worse for a lot of people was an affair. And we started taking phone calls and people said the affair. I don't know. I mean, I think it's got a lot to do with how much money you make in the first place. Because if you make $1 million and your wife comes to you and says, I ran up 20 grand, you write a check and it's over. If you have an affair, it's not over. But if you make 50 grand and you have the affair, maybe that's not as bad as screwing up your finances for the next 20 years. I really think it's socioeconomic, but we got into a very spirited discussion about it. So our question today, which is sort of an offshoot of all of this, is which is worse? Women who get boob jobs that are too big and facelifts that are too extreme, or men who get plugs or have toupees that are too big? Please answer that question after some deep thought, and we'll have results for you tomorrow right here at jcontheline.com. A little programming note. Don't anybody get all weird about this, okay? Because as far as I know, it's a one-time shot, and they asked me to do it, and I said, sure, why not? WGN Radio, 720 in Chicago. The radio station that I grew up on as a kid approached me about doing a show this weekend. A guy who normally does the entertainment show from 9 to noon is going to be in Los Angeles, can't be there to do his own radio show. So they called me and they said, we know you're a big entertainment guy and a big guy in St. Louis. And would you come up to Chicago this weekend and do the 9 to noon show on WGN? And I said, sure, why not? I mean, my only regret is that my dad is not alive to hear this, because this would have just been one of the biggest days of his life. Anyhow, we're going to have Bob Costas on in the 9 o'clock hour. From 9:30 to 10, we're going to have Super Dave Osborne on, my buddy Bob Einstein, who's Marty Funkhauser on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then from 10:20 to 10:45, Warren Littlefield. That is a name that you may not know, but you certainly know his work, because for a good number of years, he was the head of NBC Entertainment and was the guy who put Seinfeld on the air and put Friends on the air and coined the phrase and the concept, for that matter, must-see TV. Got a new book out. It's going to be a great discussion with Warren Littlefield in the 10 o'clock hour. And then they do a food segment a little bit after the 11 o'clock news every week on WGN. So we're going to talk about Cinco de Mayo. And so we got all that. Again, this is 720 WGN out of Chicago. You can listen online, or you can download the free app for your smartphone called TuneIn Radio. You get like 40,000 radio stations from all across the country. So again, this is this Sunday morning, 9 to actually 11:30, because the ball game comes on at 11:30. Got to toss it to the Cubs game, but so 9 until 11:30 this Sunday on 720 WGN. It'd be sort of cool to be back on the air in my hometown. All right, 30 Rock live tonight. Very much looking forward to this. Also, 7 Days of Sex. This is the series premiere on Lifetime. Couples attempt to have sex for a week straight to help improve their relationships and maintain intimacy while raising their families and dealing with financial struggles. Whoa boy, here we go. That's on Lifetime tonight. This seems really high, but a new survey said 4% of people say they sleep with the lights on. Freaks! Not that anyone 18 to 23 years old would ever believe this, but they're not adults yet, according to a new study. It says brains don't fully develop until age 24, and that's why there's so many problems with irresponsibility and speeding and car crashes and drugs and stuff like that. According to another new survey, 1 in 4 moms want a day at the spa or a weekend away for Mother's Day. 1 in 5 want flowers, 1 in 9 are hoping for an iPad. Well, actually, 2 Mother's Days ago, Triple C got a new iPhone, so maybe that's not that far-fetched. As part of their big day, 58% of moms want brunch, 39% want dinner, 25% want both, and 4 in 5 moms plan on drinking on Mother's Day. And now you know. This is one of these things that people think I make this stuff up, and I don't. Right now, the Egyptian parliament is debating a law that would make it legal for men to have sex with their wives' corpses. Their wife's corpse, so the wife dies, and now you get to have sex with the corpse for up to 6 hours after they die. A Muslim cleric says marriage is a bond that lasts beyond death, so it makes sense. Sure. Women's groups are strongly against the law. Oh, really? This is the kind of nighttime bliss you can only get when you're married. According to another new poll, the average couple argues in bed 167 times a year. That's almost every other night. Here are the top 10 things we argue about. Leaving a light on at number 10. 9. When to turn the lights off and go to sleep. 8. The other person's cold feet touching you. Being too cold at 7. Taking up too much of the bed. Whether to let the kids sleep in bed. 4. Not being in the mood for sex. Maybe we want to move that to the top. Being too hot at number 3. Snoring at number 2. And hogging the covers at number 1. I once got into a fight with a woman while we were in bed, while, shall we say, there was activity actually in progress. Actually got into a fight. Yeah, just let's skip that. Next one. General Electric filed a 57,000-page tax return. They filed it electronically, but if they had done it on paper, it would have stacked 19 feet high. And thanks to all the loopholes they found and all the deductions they claimed, GE paid no tax on $14 billion in profits, 0 tax. Have a nice day. All right. One of the fun things about the Men in Black movies is seeing all the celebrities that are outed as aliens. Spoiler alert right now. If you don't want to know, dump out of this or fast forward it. Director Barry Sonnenfeld says Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, and Tim Burton will all be identified as aliens. Men in Black 3 hits theaters on May 25. Parks in Mexico are encouraging people to clean up after their dogs by installing machines to weigh the poop they've picked up in exchange for free Wi-Fi. There was some tequila at that meeting, I'm telling you, when they came up with that idea. Newt Gingrich will officially quit the nomination race next week to make it easy to abandon his campaign. Gingrich is going to pretend like it's a sick wife. And throwing the towel in is probably going to be the most exercise Newt's had in about 20 years here. The Jacksons announced plans to record their first new album since 1989. They are expected to sound just like they did when Michael was in the group, except with all that annoying talent. Lindsay Lohan has been invited to attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday. That's cool. Not too many places Lindsay Lohan can go these days where she actually classes up the joint. I'm skipping that because I'm running out of time here. Let's go straight on to JC's Eye Candy today, as if we needed something more embarrassing than that picture I ran yesterday of me from 1981. Here are Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, and Springsteen, all in high school. Then and now. Photographs of what they look then and what they look like now, and maybe I shouldn't be so embarrassed by that picture yesterday. Huh? All right, again, JC's Rock and Roll poll here today. Men or women, who's worse? The women who get those giant boob jobs or have those trout pout things where their faces get pulled back like this, or men who get plugs or those giant bushy hairy toupees? Which is worse? Please answer in the corner. Can't wait to see what your answers are on this one, and we'll have results for you tomorrow. And again, WGN in Chicago, Sunday morning from 9 until 11:30. That's it, JC's Daily Dose for Thursday, April 26, 2012. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.